All right, if you're a business analyst, I bet a certain question has been on your mind lately. With generative AI getting smarter by the day, you're probably asking, how do I stay relevant? Look, it's a question on a lot of our minds, so let's just dive right into it, because the answer is probably not what you're thinking.
This is the big fear, right? Let's just call it what it is. The anxiety that a tool that can write, analyze, and summarize is just going to make the whole BA role obsolete. It's a totally valid concern, and today we're going to tackle it head on. We're going to look at what really changes when you stop being a traditional BA and start becoming a GenAI power user.
And here's the thing, and this is the really good news. This is not about starting from scratch. All those core skills you've honed as a BA, the critical thinking, managing stakeholders, dissecting problems, they aren't just relevant, they are the absolute foundation for mastering these new tools. You're not being replaced, you're being upgraded.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down exactly how GenAI doesn't do your job for you, but instead gives you some serious superpowers. It amplifies the skills you already have. We're going to look at 3 core areas: asking questions, documentation, and analysis. First up, asking questions. You know the drill. The traditional BA spends countless hours in meetings, interviews, sifting through docs to gather requirements. But the GenAI-powered BA, well, they can take a 10-page requirements doc, feed it to an AI, and just ask, hey, summarize the key goals, or better yet, generate some clarifying questions for this really vague user story. And that right there is the essential shift. Your brain is still the most important tool in the box. You're the one who has to look at the AI's summary and decide which of those questions are the right ones to ask. The AI just gets rid of the hours of boring manual parsing, freeing you up to do the high-level critical thinking that actually adds the real value.
All right, let's talk about our next superpower, documentation. We have all been there, spending hours, and I mean hours, writing up meeting notes or building those complex business requirements documents. Now, the game changer here is just the raw speed. You can feed a meeting transcript to an AI and prompt it to turn this into a requirements doc or create a RACI chart based on these roles. We're talking about a 10x productivity boost, easy.
So this is the point we really need to hammer home. Think of it like a talented acoustic guitarist who gets an electric guitar for the first time. The musician's skill is still the heart of the music, right? But the new tool amplifies their sound, their reach, their impact exponentially. That's exactly what GenAI is for a business analyst.
And finally, analysis. I mean, building static charts in Excel is one thing, but just imagine uploading your sales data and asking the AI, explain this dip in user retention and give me 3 possible hypotheses. Or, what are the potential business risks based on this data? You still have to provide the final insight, but the AI gives you this incredible head start on actually shaping the story the data is trying to tell. Okay, so we've covered how GenAI makes you better at what you already do. But the next step in this evolution, well, it's even bigger. It's about learning to communicate in a new, much more powerful way. It's about thinking less like a traditional BA and, a little more like a data scientist.
And let me be crystal clear about this. This is not about you needing to run off and learn Python. Not at all. It's about learning how to frame problems. It's about understanding what a good, structured, specific question actually sounds like. A question aimed at getting a really strategic output from the AI. I mean, just look at this example. A prompt like this is worlds away from just asking, why are our customers leaving? With this prompt, you're giving the AI a role, a framework, and specific variables to work with. You're guiding it. You're steering it toward a high-value analytical answer. This, right here, is the new language of a power user.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most important transformation of all. It goes way beyond just individual tasks. It gets right to the very heart of how you approach your job. It's about a massive shift from thinking in terms of static documents to creating dynamic workflows.
The whole shift really boils down to something this simple. The old mindset is task-oriented. I need to write this document. But the new Gen I mindset, it's systems-oriented. How can I automate this step so I never, ever have to do it manually again? It's a complete 180 in your perspective.
So, what does this new workflow actually look like? Well, it's about building a process, an engine. First, you figure out how to automate a single step with a killer prompt. Second, you save that prompt, you reuse it, you make it repeatable. And third, this is the fun part, you start connecting the dots. You take the output from one AI prompt and you feed it directly as the input for another tool or another prompt. You're not just writing a doc, you're building an engine. So when you put all of this together, The amplified skills, speaking this new language, the workflow mindset, it becomes pretty obvious that the old job title just doesn't quite fit anymore, does it? The scope of what you can do, your impact has fundamentally changed.
This is your new identity. You are a strategic problem solver, and generative AI is your leverage. It's the force multiplier that lets you scale your effort and your value to the company. You're not just documenting what needs to be built anymore. You're actually building the automated systems that help define it.
And let's just bring it all back to where we started. This whole transformation, it doesn't ask you to throw away your experience. It demands that you build on top of it. It's not about starting over. It's about retooling for a completely new era. Your hard-earned BA skills are the launchpad.
Look, this shift is happening right now as we speak. So the real question isn't if you should adopt, but how. As you think about your own career, your own path, you've got to ask yourself, which of these superpowers, the faster questions, the automated docs, or the data-driven stories, which one are you going to build first? Your next big career move depends on that answer.